Good morning, world.
Jeez. Okay, let's stop for 1 second here. You guys, okay, you're watching Cedric and Brian Speak Out. For those of you who have been with us from day one, we always open with, good morning, world. And I say, good morning. Did you like the opening, or should we go with something different for this new channel? With that being said, though, I will say good morning. And we are filming this on the 4th of July. So for all of you in America, happy 4th of July. Enjoy the fireworks, the barbecue, the pools. Do not hold on.
Once again, Cedric is saying something that's in the past because this will not be released on the 4th of July.
I know that. I was going to say that before I was rudely interrupted.
Yeah,
anyway,
but you're acting as if they're going to... Anyway.
Good morning. What are we doing today?
We also need, I got to make new hats. So I'm wearing this hat. It doesn't have our new logo on it. Our new logo is right here next to us. But we are going to, you know what? Hold on 1 second.
Thank you.
I enjoy watching your reaction to music videos. I can't wait to see what you do with this channel and watch it grow. I just filled up my car and gas is $2.41 a gallon in the great state of Texas. We're close to that here in Tennessee. Cedric, what are you at over there?
I know, Brian. Keep it going. Keep it going.
So then she says, what is your opinion of Alligator Alcatraz? So rather than answer her on this, I told her that we would do that on this station. So today we are going to talk about Alligator Alcatraz, which you know Kristi Noem and Trump just went and opened up in the great state of Florida with Ron DeSantis.
All right. That was a long intro. But stay tuned. Talking about Alligator Alcatraz. I'm Cedric.
We don't really have an intro thing yet, Cedric, so...
Wow.
I guess we'll have to make one. Cedric's put me on the spot, so I guess it's more work for me. But we're gonna skip that right now. Go watch our other channel if you want to hear our snappy tune.
You could have put in the old intro and they wouldn't have known the difference.
Yeah, well, I don't want to do that. All right, so let's just give you a little background for those of you who have been living under a rock. What is Alligator Alcatraz? For those of you who know what Alcatraz is, it's in the San Francisco Bay. And it was a prison that was shut down in the 60s, I believe. But it used to house criminals because it was hard for them to escape. They would have had to go across a very choppy, treacherous channel filled with sharks, maybe. So
yes,
there's a couple good films with it. I think Clint Eastwood was in one of them. But this one, Alligator Alcatraz, and we'll bring this up here, proposed in June of 2025. So it was proposed and put into place very fast. So it was put in there by A.G. James Uthmeyer of Florida, who described it calling Alligator Alcatraz because escapees would encounter dangerous wildlife instead of fortified walls. So it's out there in the middle of the Everglades or something like that in Florida where all the alligators and snakes live.
I think the original Alcatraz in San Francisco, I think it has a lot of racist undertones to it because... I mean, most people can't survive that, but what did the black criminals do? I mean, that whole swimming thing just kind of puts us out. It's like, you know what, I'm just going to kick it here and relax.
Leave it to Cedric to make this racial.
Yeah,
that's what we do. All right.
Alligator Alcatraz, so that's in Florida. Mm-hmm. But what a lot of people don't know is not only the alligators there. I was watching some wildlife expert. He says not only alligators, but you have the pythons, diamondback rattlesnakes, the snapping turtles, and believe it or not, they even have bull sharks. And before I forget about this, I'm going to say one thing. Whether it was the Alcatraz in San Francisco or it's Alligator Alcatraz in Florida, my whole thing is if you're inside, if you venture outside the walls, consequences.
Yeah, the other thing they have in Florida, though, is they got a bunch of hillbillies with guns, so good luck with that, too.
There's that.
I guess they wouldn't be called hillbillies. That's more out this way.
Yeah,
what do you call the redneck Floridian? What do you guys call the redneck Floridians? You know, we've got the rednecks here because we're out working the farms, getting a redneck. Like I was out today mowing. And then you got the hillbillies living in the Ozarks. And then, so what do you call them Florida? Because there's no hills in Florida. I don't know. You guys let us know. Anyway, I got into it with my good friend Chat, because Chat mentioned that it's going to cost $450 million a year. And I'm like, why? Why is it going to cost so much? And they said that it's going to be let me get to it. The cost breakdown, approximately $245 per bed per day. Running 5,000 beds costs around $450 million per year. So I started to think about that. Let's just round it up to $250. Double occupancy, that's $500 a day. You can get a pretty darn good stay at a nice hotel for $500 a day. What are we doing, Cedric?
Those are Hilton Honors prices if you have points.
Dude, that's not even on. That Hilton, you get cheaper. $500 a night. Holy cow. And have you seen it? Have you seen the videos of this place? There's no walls. It's a giant tent. It looks like a Cirque du Soleil tent with a bunch of beds in it. Why is it $245 per person per day, Cedric?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I don't, because you're not paying that much for the guards, I don't think. And I know that certain prisons have different levels. You have level 1 prisons, level 2 prisons, level 3, level 4, and I guess the higher you go up, the more dangerous the criminals are. So I don't know what level this prison will be. It's a prison, right? Not a jail.
No, it's a temporary holding facility. So it's not even really a prison. So the whole point of it is it's for illegals so that they can get processed before they are deported. So it's not even a jail as we would say a jail is. So again, the cost. So Cedric, what I did is I asked. I said that cost is a nice hotel, as I mentioned. Why does it cost so much? And so my good friend Chat said no competitive pressure. So the reason is it goes back to Doge, and because the government can spend your tax dollars' money, they don't have to get the best bid. They just say, all right, what are you going to charge, Mr. Guard, Mr. Facility, Mr. Landowner? We'll just pay it to you because we don't care. We're just going to collect it from you, the people, and then we'll just pay them. So that is why things get blown up when government has anything to do with it. So I asked, I said, why can't we do it as a private thing?
Did you ask? Did you get an answer?
Yeah, we went back and forth. I'm not going to go over the whole conversation, but the gist of it was Chat said that's a good idea. But
it's strange to me considering the two individuals who are backing this. First, you have Ron DeSantis in Florida, who, especially during the time of COVID in 2020 and other things, ran his state better than any governor has ever ran their state. Of course, I'm comparing it to what we have here in Governor Newsom, so anybody can do better than that. But you have Ron DeSantis, who's I believe, a fiscally conservative governor. Donald Trump, like other presidents, I mean, you kind of spend willy-nilly, but like
the big, beautiful bill.
The big, beautiful bill, but you had, where is Doge when you need it to go in there and say, okay, where can we cut the fat on this? Because it doesn't seem like it's a very high maintenance, especially since you said it's not a prison, it's a temporary holding facility until they go to their next home.
Yeah, so I did a little real world comparison that Chat came up with. So hotel with security, food, and cleaning, estimated cost in the private sector is $100 to $200 per double occupancy room. That's the room, compared to government-funded Alligator Alcatraz, which is $245 per person per day. So it costs way more than a nice hotel. A university dorm where you get your food and you get security and all that is only $80 to $120 a day. The FEMA trailers, which this is just a big giant FEMA tent, is only $80 a day on average. So why are we spending? I mean, I like the concept. Don't get me wrong, Ron DeSantis. But the costs are ridiculous, and it's because we don't rein in government costs. They just give it to whoever their friends are who are going to run it. They're paying them way too much money. So then I had another idea, Cedric. I said, why don't we make them run it like a city? Put them all out there, make them have to shop around for food like we do on like Amazon or Amazon Food or whatever. The inmates have to then, they get a stipend, which is not going to be $245 a day. They'll get some kind of stipend. They have to figure out how to feed themselves, build their own tents, and that will save us so much money. I mean, as it is, they came to this country. Some of them are living on the streets anyway. Put them there, make them figure out how to live cheaper, and then just have the guards there to make sure that they all don't kill each other and have the Lord of the Flies going on. But it would save so much money if they had to act as a private city and keep the government out of it. That's my 2 cents. And the government just pays for, like we do here, the police and that type of thing.
Right. That's a great idea, Brian. I agree with you. But the only thing with that is that we're talking about individuals who don't know how to function in society to begin with, which is why they're in there. And I know they're illegal immigrants, but most of them, and don't get upset with me when I say this, most of them came here for the free ride, for the government benefits and the free housing and the free child care and the health insurance. To put them in a situation where it's like, well, now you have to take care of yourselves, it's going to cause a lot of infighting. It may end up being worse than it was when they were out in the open.
Well, okay, but Cedric, we're talking about people that are going to be deported anyway.
Right.
All right? So with today's surveillance technology, instead of putting it in our cities with people that are just trying to go about their business, you can surveil the Alligator Alcatraz from every angle to make sure people aren't doing any shenanigans, and then punish them if they are, and then make everything else, you compete just like you would do in a city. And maybe, the reason I thought of this, I thought of Australia. It's like, didn't England, they just shipped all their people to Australia and said, go. And they created a society. Why can't you do that on a small scale? And then I thought about, so ChatGPT said, well, the reason is because then you're going to have all kinds of abuses, all that stuff. So that's when I brought in, well, we have surveillance. Then I started thinking about, because I listened to Dr. Drew Pinsky, back in the early 70s, or 60s or 70s, they shut down all the mental and psych wards because of things like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, because of the abuse. We need to open those back up because we have transparency, and you can have a camera in every room other than, for privacy, so families can see their loved ones so they don't get abused in psych wards. I know I'm going on a tangent, but I'm using this in context with surveillance. You can surveil, let the thing basically run itself on Alligator Alcatraz. You've already got the deterrence of them trying to escape with the alligators and the snakes and the turtles and what else. Why can't we do this and make things just more efficient? And the reason I got pissed, I liked the whole idea, but when I saw that $450 million a year price tag on it, I thought, what are we doing? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Now, is that cost, I'm sure it's being funded by the good taxpayers of Florida.
No, well, it's not just Florida. It's also going to be funded by the federal government because this is a federal program to get rid of illegal immigration. So the people that are going to be making money is whoever's running it in Florida, stealing all of our tax money. And again, I like the idea. Don't yell at me. But the costs are ridiculous. When anything has to do with government, the costs are out the door. We need Elon and Trump to make up so that they can get back to running Doge and getting rid of all of the ridiculous spending so that the spending can go in the right direction, and then overall we can save things. And I know that's the big fight right now between Elon and Trump because of the spending that Trump's doing in this big, beautiful, expensive bill. But I think they just need to get together and figure out how to do it correctly. And this is just a microcosm of the whole big thing. If we can figure it out here, we can figure it out other places. That's me speaking out.
Okay. And I think and as you touched on very well, Brian, kudos for doing your homework. The cost is like 90% of it. To me, the other 10%, and I think a lot of people are complaining about this, are the conditions, that it might be inhumane and what happens if they get attacked by the alligators and the other predators that live in the Florida Everglades. And I think this is like a 2-minute conversation at best. It's like if you keep your ass inside, you don't run that risk. The Everglades is an awesome ecosystem. It's the perfect storm of American predators, as I alluded to in the very beginning. But once you get out there and an alligator snaps down on you, did you know that an alligators, they're most of them like 13 to 14 feet in length, and they weigh 1,000 pounds? And then the bite, when they chomp down on you, that's 2,000 PSI. And for those of you, if you're a legal alien and you're watching this, here's a hint for you. If an alligator chomps down on you, don't fight it, because it's not the bite that kills you, although I'm sure it hurts tremendously. It's what's called the death roll. When the alligator starts to roll, that's when the bones start to break and skin is ripped off and flesh. So if you do get bit, roll with it. I'm just offering advice. And actually, that's a great idea, Brian. I think once they get these illegal immigrants in there, they should hold a little seminar or a little symposium like they do for professional athletes about how to manage your money and how to watch out for women. They should sit them down and say, here is what's going to happen to you if you decide to sneak out and go beyond these walls. This is what could happen to you.
Yes.
And don't forget the train. You will get lost. You'll get lost. The water is not potable. Is that the word for it? It's not. So dehydration is likely. The weather, there's thunderstorms, heat, mosquitoes, ants. It sounds a lot like Tennessee, to be honest with you.
No, stop it.
I'm just saying. So I think a lot of people think it's
82 degrees out right now, and it's only 50-something% humidity. So
I love doing this to him. He gets so bothered by it.
And we get to launch mortars here in Tennessee for our fireworks.
So, wow. And there go the fingers.
All right. Well, now that Cedric's done reading from his Wikipedia page.
No, I saw this on. Wow.
So the moral of the story is, if you get bit by an alligator, just let them roll you into the water and drown you. That's the point.
You're dead anyway. You might stand a better chance of just rolling with it. Roll with a punch.
Dude, you take your arms and you just like push their jaws apart.
Jeez, incredible.
All right.
So what do you guys think? Leave that in the comments section. What do you think about the whole Alligator Alcatraz? Is it a good idea? Brian did a great job of touching on the costs that are involved with funding this federal program. Is it fair? Is it not fair? And then there's the human side of it. Is it fair to the illegal aliens? I think once you decide to do something illegally, all the fairness stuff goes out the window, but that's my point of view. Did you want to add anything else before we sign off?
Yeah, I don't know why you're... Yeah, the fairness thing, again, these people, and I'm hoping the Trump administration sticks to their plan that they're getting rid of the violent criminals first, and those are the people that are going to go in here. So I know that kind of puts a wrench in just letting them be, but you know what? They got to figure it out. If they're going to live in a civil society, maybe this is their first step on learning how to live in a civil society. I don't see many downsides, of course. If you're opposed to this, you will find every downside. You will say, well, that poor guy from, was it Minnesota? Was it just an innocent father and he just happened to have MS-13 tattoos on his knuckles? And I know for all of you, it wasn't actually MS-13, but the symbols represented MS-13. People are going to use that as a way to say these poor, innocent people getting thrown in with these violent criminals in the middle of Alligator Alley, basically. But you know what? You can always find an exception. I think as a rule, you do this, you discourage people from coming in, and you get rid of the violent ones that are here. So I don't see a downside other than the government spending. It's way too much money to spend on something that shouldn't cost us much. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay, awesome. We'll take that for what it's worth. Did you know it costs a whole nickel to make a cent now, to make a penny? That's a different topic for another day. All right, you guys. Hope this is like video 2 of our brand new Cedric and Brian Speak Out. If you're over here from our music reactions, just reach over there real quick, hit subscribe. We'll get this channel up and growing in no time soon. But make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell, and continue sharing our channel and Cedric and Brian Speak Out and Tennessee Time. Did I leave any out?
No, that's
Brian?
it. Unless your OnlyFans side, Cedric's OnlyFans, is that?
No, I got enough support in that.
Okay.
It's going good. Until next time, again, this is after the 4th of July. I hope you had an incredible 4th of July. I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian. We'll see you later.